Hi, folks, and welcome back to the Star Wars Library, where Star Wars is in print, and we're actually going to take a little break today from the Marvel comic book series and talking about some other books. Now, I did say I wanted to do this in publication order, so that means that we're going to have to take a break and move on to some of these. But again, I actually kind of think these are kind of cool. So, they're Ewoks adventures. Don't click away yet. No, I really like the Ewoks. I think they were. I thought they were, as a kid, I thought they were adorable, but now I like to see it as, like wow, this group can, overtake this great threat or it can be a threat to them without all this great technology. People always like to say, oh well, it's so stupid the Ewoks were able to beat this intergalactic empire. Um, it's like actually they were taken by surprise. But if you actually watch the movie, the stormtroopers start to fight back. I mean, are we forgetting that one scene that like I hate where that Ewok gets killed and his buddy's like, hey, no, and oh man, I hate that scene. Anyways, we're done talking about that, or else I'm gonna start bawling. Anyways, we're gonna get into some Ewok kitty books that came out around 1984 that were from the Return of the Jedi. Um, Storybooks or whatever. So the first one is How the Ewoks Saved the Trees, an old Ewok legend. And so this is by James Ho and illustrated by Walter Velez. And so it's actually a prequel in a way to the Ewoks TV show. And so it introduces the Phalogs and Logray. And it also shows Wicket and Princess Kinessa catch a pair of flogs in the act of cutting down an ancient tree that's valuable to the Ewoks. And the art's actually pretty good. It's a little bit different from the TV show, but there's a lot of text too, and it was actually kind of a long thing. But um, yeah, they of course get their comeuppance or and all that, and they save the trees, hooray! And I mean, again, not much to it, but because it's a children's book. Another one that you could check out is called The Ewoks Hang Gliding Adventure, one of the smallest books I've ever seen. It's written by Judy Herbstman and it was illustrated by Pat Paris. Okay. And so basically, it's a windy morning. All three Ewoks, Wicket, Tebow, and Kinessa, are wanting to hang glide. And but then Wicket's hang glider, he crashes into this old, dark, dark area there, and um, and then of course he um, finds his way back. And then they have to hang glide back over to the tree houses, which they do. And of course, Kinessa is like, hey, that's great. How about some bread and jam? And that's pretty much the book. It's a very, very little book. Again, couldn't take you very long to read this. Another one that you could check out. This one's actually a bit longer. It's called The Adventures of Tebow, and this one was also in 1984, written and illustrated by Joe Johnston. And this one is actually pretty cool. It actually has very little pictures. I kind of like this. Maybe it was like for a little bit older kids, but the pictures are really cool. They're like in this black and white, like old school picture book, and um, yeah, the art, like I said, is actually really really good in this. Um, but Tebow goes on different adventures to get rid of the Falargs. I can never say it right. And he saves the tribe of Ewoks, and we get to see Logray and all that. So this was actually a pretty fun read. This one actually took me a little bit longer to go through than some of the others. Um, but now for the last one that we're going to talk about today. This one is probably the kiddiest of all them all, but it is still part of the continuity. Um, it's called Wicket Goes Fishing, an Ewok adventure. Yeah, heck of an adventure, right? Written here by Melinda Luke, illustrated by A.O. Williams. And this premise of this book is Wicket doesn't want to take his little sister fishing, and and oh, it's sad. And he's like, Mom, Um, yeah, Wicket, yeah. Why don't you take Winda along? His little sister Winda suggested his mother. She'd love to go with you. Wicket groaned. A Walkling, his own baby sister, on his fishing trip? She'd ruin his day for sure. But Mama, Wicket began. A stern look from his mother told him there was no point in arguing. So yeah, and even this little horse thing is like, oh, why does she have to come too? It's I don't know. But anyways, it's a sweet little story. They learn how to love each other and that they should care for one another. And I mean, again, it's a children's book, right? But again, I didn't know about a lot of these books actually. Um, a lot of these I didn't know. I had to find out about them. So I was excited to get them. And I was excited to read them because it's expanded universe, right? So, even stuff like kitty books, it's a little, who cares, right? It's EU, it's part of the continuity. Anyways, one cool thing about this is that actually this book shows that the Ewoks are living on the ground level of Endor, um, and then they travel farther than their village. We're not used to seeing that, um, but um, but yeah, I mean it's a little bit different because we're used to seeing them in the trees. But the fact of the matter is, are these books that I showed you is How the Ewoks Saved the Trees, the Ewoks Hang Gliding Adventures, the Adventures of Tebow, Wicket Goes Fishing. Are these essential to your expanding universe reading? No, no, they're not. These are some kiddie books that I would definitely say no, they're not. And honestly, I mean, even the modern EU or people wanting classics, I honestly don't know if these are worth your time. I got them just because, again, I want to have everything. And they're sweet. You know what? One day when the missus and I have kids, there's bedtime stories for them. But if you are looking for, I guess, more adult, more mature things, there's better young adult books. There's better children's books out there in the EU. These, unfortunately, are not some of them. But they're not the worst thing ever. But again, remember that they were made for kids. But they still are a part of the EU continuity, therefore I have them. So it's up to you. So, folks, thank you for so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time with another episode of the Star Wars Library. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go fishing. Catch you later.